A slippery slope. Children and young people are getting a strange social landscape laid before them for the future. And to be honest, the present is looking pretty busted up too. For all of us. But young people have less perspective and experience generally to understand it. So how are they going to cope with it all? How are they coping now? How is anyone, I guess? Because while some may have both experience and perspective in their arsenal, this is a new situation we appear to face, individually and as a collective. There are so many concerning things occurring, but being given their own rights to make life-altering decisions is a big one. And it may seem silly to link them together, but it all started with trainers. Yes, the shoes. Quite a strange leap if you aren't sure why, but you may remember in the 90s, a story from the States hit the UK, about a child who successfully sued his parents for not buying him trendy, expensive trainers. The court upheld that claim, I believe. And the slippery slope began, in my view. As with most things that have a rather large impact on society, they are often a while in the making. The first fad covers that a little more. That slope was already well in place though, with social services and authorities already poised to be able to remove children from people's care if they saw fit to do so. But mostly there had to be a bloody good reason, and if they didn't have one, they made one up in some cases. But there was a line which seemed to fall on the side of the parents, allowing them to believe they were in charge of and responsible for their own offspring. Over the years though, little things have shown that's not entirely the case. Compulsory things crept in, where you had to comply to take part, or face monetary or legal consequences. Sound familiar? Fines for not making your children go to school, fines if you wanted to take them away in term time, exclusion if you didn't play the game. Back in the day, when they tried to make the school system of indoctrination it is today, they also had to bully and force people to take part. Then they pushed the social divide created by those who attended and those who did not, bringing in more rules of attendance, standards, exams, grades, and what they considered social achievement. And it does rather now seem as though it is becoming obvious that the previous industrial society we had is on the way out. They don't want motivated, skilled people to take part in society and just go about their lives as before. They appear to want distracted, confused people to be an integral part of the new society, without the choice to take part at all. And that choice I speak of has been limited for a while now, and was the happy illusion to make us all think it was just ticking over and chugging along. Well, now it's changing course and speed, hoping to throw anyone off the train if they are in the way or looking to pull the stop cord, and equally to plough through anyone who tried to derail it or remove it from the tracks. A juggernaut now, heading towards either a wall of total destruction or into a dark, narrow tunnel, for the foreseeable future. So how do we get off that train, or as I said before, derail it or deconstruct it, letting it lose steam and just rot away? There have been so many tricks and traps of society, going back some time. Various hoops to jump through, incentives and punishments, intruding into every part of our lives eventually. Until we find ourselves here, where the illusionary incentives and rewards just went down, and the perceived punishments just went up. And for adults perhaps, who have seen through the charade, the levels of compliance isn't quite what was expected, and they are harder to push now, or to threaten, or to control. So, the attention turns very much to the younger generations, and to try and separate them from anyone who might actually have their best interests at heart. For real, not for profit. If all the older lot had fallen in line, then the expectation or pressure would come from parents first, authorities second, as it used to when the old system worked on a basic level. Peer pressure has worked wonders in the past for there to be social pressure heaped on people by their own. And don't get me wrong, I actually believe a bit of peer pressure can be used for good and as a helpful lesson to people while they grow and gather experience throughout their life. But not when that pressure really isn't from your peers or anyone who you respect. It comes from a far more detached motive and isn't about teaching you any kind of life lesson. It's more about making you get in line. And this is what I would like young people of today to consider. Motive. To really think through and try and understand the reasoning behind someone or something showing an interest, whether it be an interest in your mind, body or soul. even if that interested party is the government or branches of it. Because while it might seem nice in the short term to have someone appear interested in your innermost thoughts and future happiness, or to have someone try and tell you what is good for you, it is important to look behind that. Go behind that nice feeling or validation for a moment and analyse it. Because as harsh as it is, the reality is that most authoritative departments don't actually care. You are a target and a statistic, so they can be given money. That's it. Giving a young person independence is great, but they aren't really doing that, are they? They are trying to sever an attachment of responsibility between parent and child, which I accept isn't there for all in the first place, and appear to place that responsibility solely with the child or young person, but while creating a cord of attachment between the young person and the government, knowing in many cases the pressure is actually too great and will go wrong as they don't understand the implications and won't for some time. Set up to fail, like lots of people have been, and it takes us just a little bit further down that slippery slope.